What's up, guys? It's Mandi.
It's Wanda,
Hey, it's Jess.
And this is the Two Girls, One Bar podcast.
your strength sport podcast for the girls. You definitely started that intro before I even finished.
I know. Well, so normally I play a little bit of it on a preview and then I switch it to the live. And then when I press play, it starts it over from the beginning.
Okay.
And so it takes a second. So normally I know when you start talking is when I press play because it takes a second.
Yeah.
It did start it over from the beginning. It started where I had stopped it. So we're real tight on that intro this time.
That's okay.
But what are you going to do? Yeah, it didn't start over. So I'm sorry. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. They're coming to arrest Wanda. I'm just kidding. Welcome back to the podcast. We're super excited because we have a fellow Midwest girl on the podcast today. So Jess, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks so much. I'm super excited to be on here with you guys today, for sure.
Oh my gosh, we're so stoked to have you. Do you want to give just a super brief intro to everyone of kind of, the basics of who you are? And then we'll kind of dive in.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So yes, my name's Jess Montejo. Recently, within the past 2 years, my husband and I just opened up unit strength training, and that's in Lindenhurst. And previous to that, about 10 years ago, we started to dabble within strength, competing since about that time as well. So about 12 competitions in, state records, national records, in a bunch of federations. As you guys know, powerlifting has a lot of federations. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so also certified to coach weightlifting, powerlifting, and we also host Strongman events at the gym now too. So triple sports at the unit.
Yeah. I love that so much. That's so cool. What brought you to strength sports? So you said 10 years ago or 12 years ago is when you guys kind of started dabbling and competing. What brought you to powerlifting?
Yeah, it's a funny story, but actually it's my cousin. Actually, she started powerlifting first. We did our first meet in Aurora, so pretty local also in Illinois. I saw her lift and she's like, "Hey, you should join me." And then, probably 3 months later, I started to just train and just get into it, and story's over. And now she's doing competitions, strongman competitions at our gym now too. And yeah, she's doing weightlifting, strongman, and powerlifting.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. What do
Yeah.
you feel like drew you to it? So obviously your cousin invited you, but what kind of got you to oh, this is cool. I like this. I want to do this,
Yeah, for sure. I would have to say definitely it was the vibes. And it was just, as you guys know, in weightlifting, you have the flights, right? And all the women per weight class and their divisions, they're just together in the warm-up room. And I was back there with her. So I was I got to experience the vibe, just trying to see how the competition would go. And I met friends there, already just being a spectator. So I think that's really what drew me to it, for sure.
Did you know right away that you wanted to compete, or were you like, oh, I just kind of want to be a part of this?
No, I knew right away I wanted to compete.
Oh, that's awesome.
Actually, my first time on a powerlifting type of a program, I was at a CrossFit gym. And I think we had a 3-month programming, and it was the competition that got it. So yeah, I never got asked that question, but yes, yeah, 3 months. 3 months from just not competing to just getting on the platform. Yep.
That's so cool.
Did you play any other sports growing up, or was powerlifting, strength sports your first go?
Yeah, so I've always been pretty active. I dabbled in some basketball sometimes in middle school. I skied, and stuff like that. I've always loved just strength training. So, in the gym, as soon as that was offered, I would take strength training within the gym. But other than that, not really athletic at all. during my high school years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Were you always competitive? Like, I feel like it's not super common for someone to start to dabble in a strength sport and be like, let's compete
Yeah.
right away. Now, it is a coach's dream for people to be that way because, I mean, not even to like try to be elite, but like the competitions are so fun and you also meet kind of this bigger community. Like you said, you were always making friends. So it's a coach's dream that somebody will jump right into that, but it's not super
Yeah.
common. So have you always been kind of like have that competitive edge or been a competitive person?
Yes, I would say so. Ever since I was about 4 years old, my parents got me into strings. So like I played viola, violin. I traveled with Chicago Youth Symphony. Like competitions have been in my blood. Performance in general just has been. Actually, I was in Milwaukee Youth Symphony too when we were in Milwaukee. But yeah. So I mean, it's always been inside, and I feel like that's definitely where I've gotten. I mean, as you guys know, in strength sports, we're performing. So it's like it's the same. Nervous tension there, and you just want to do your best. You're practicing lifting, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where it came from for sure.
That's so cool. Do you still play all of those string instruments?
I do. I play for weddings. I wanna try to this is like an ultimate dream. You guys might laugh because everyone at the gym is always like, I'm always trying to think of like that
We
next
don't
best
laugh
thing.
at dreams. We don't laugh at
Okay.
dreams. Go for it. We want to know.
But yeah, I want to do like maybe, some rooms for like lessons as well as like the gym right there. Cause we've expanded already twice, within 2 years. And like the space that we took on has these rooms already kind of sectioned off. I was like, all right, we're either going to have podcast rooms or private lesson rooms, some kind of recording something.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually reached out to Shelby literally right before we started this call and was like, any like facts about her we should like bring up? And she's like, the last note she mentioned was like, she plays the violin. She's like really good. So I'm glad you
That's awesome.
naturally brought that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about it. It's just, I feel like they kind of blend together somehow. And like we talked about.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Yeah.
Mandy and I are both dancers, and it's like that technical
Yep.
piece of like drilling over and over. It's like the same thing with
And
like,
rhythm.
yeah.
Oh yeah. For
Like, I think
sure.
there's a lot to be said for rhythm and lifting. And I grew up playing instruments too. We interviewed Will, who's the communications at USA Weightlifting. Listen, we could start like a strength sport band at
band?
this point. Like, we'll
I
start a
joke
band.
around. Literally, yeah,
Yeah.
because Shelby, she coaches the youth, and a lot of them play instruments, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to do open mic or something.
Yeah. It's that like technical obsession, I think. Also, your kind of idea of the lesson rooms is it's like the perfect situation because I feel like a lot of times you have to be careful for the same reasons with like music and
Yes.
gyms because of noise. And
Yes.
nobody would care if they can hear the lessons or whatever. Like,
Absolutely
it's
not.
kind of the perfect situation. So really
Yeah.
it's a perfect thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. We'll keep it
Yeah.
our string sport band in mind for the future here.
I like that.
Yeah. No, I love that. So what was your first powerlifting competition like? So you're competing right away, 3 months in, you're literally on the platform. What did it feel like? What was that experience like?
Okay, so it's actually a push-pull meet, which means it was just bench, and deadlift. So, it, I would say it was definitely nerve-wracking, right? Because that was the first time I was in a singlet, right? Nobody wants to be in the singlet. First time getting like my wrist wraps and belts and everything like that. And it's not even, I didn't even have like full equipment that I normally would now, like lifters, but yeah, it was very intense, I would say. I was really nervous, to a point where actually in my deadlift, you know how you have different grips, right? Like over overhand versus like alternating. So on my third attempt, I think I just did like a hook grip to overhand instead of like, because I was just so nervous. So yeah, that was the experience there. I mean, obviously I did okay, but I definitely did not get that third lift.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yes, it it was just it was really good though. Really good experience to get like the butterflies out the way and just like, really perform on that platform and have everybody, kind of just like any performance, right? I just looked at the back of the room and, during the lifts and you kind of just like zone out the whole
Mm-hmm.
crowd.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, I just naturally that happened my first time. So I was just like, it's so similar to any performance, So,
Yeah.
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 That's cool. What happened next? So how soon did you compete, or like after your first competition, then all of a sudden you were like, what was the goal? How did you feel?
Yeah, for sure. I believe I competed next in December of that year, or I was amping up for a summer. So the gym that I was competing at had a lot of meets like either during October, December, or like July. So I would try to do, try to amp up for those times. The second time, obviously, that was full power. So I did the squat too. That was really scary because just like, I'm not comparing any of our lifts because definitely weightlifting is way more, technical. But, if you miss, some of your snatches or, the squat, you could bomb out, right? So it's like, I missed, I believe, my first squat and I was just like freaked out. I was like, what is happening? Like it was commands, for us, where it was like, after you do your squat, you have to stay there. You have to stand and not really show motion to show you're locked out. So after that, though, after I got over that and actually made one of my squats, I felt a lot better. But the venue was a lot bigger. This competition was like over 2 days. So I feel like right after that, I was really kind of like in the motion then, like really used to the competing then after that full power. Yep.
Yeah. It can be so intimidating to miss like an opener, right? Like it's hard to
Yes.
come back from that no matter what the
Yeah.
sport,
I
you know
would
what I mean?
know.
Powerlifting really. Yeah. I mean, it happens to all of us. Wanda, we just
Yeah.
kind of talked a lot about Wanda recent meets and stuff, but it's tough to come
Yes.
back from a miss. It's such a mental kind of thing to like shake that off and then come back and do it again. And I will say something about powerlifting and weightlifting is powerlifting, like you often have to wait a lot longer to then come back for that attempt than, I mean, which is not always true in weightlifting. Depending on the meet, you could wait a real long time before your next attempt, but
Yeah.
for sure you're waiting until it comes back to you in the flight.
Yes.
And so that's tough too, because you have to like kind of sit in that for a second till it comes back to you.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I feel like one meet I was like sitting for like 12, 13 minutes, and obviously, how we train, we're training like 2 minutes, even, well, I'll sometimes, as powerlifters, there's jokes, but we're waiting 5, 6 minutes sometimes because we're talking a lot in between. But yes, it's a lot of time. You're right. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's one of the things I always found most difficult about powerlifting was the amount of time waiting between attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
I always thought
I
that
would
was
agree.
hard.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost like, do I take off my knee sleeves that are really cutting off my circulation, or do I leave them on? It's like
Yeah.
we'll just never know.
I mean, 12 minutes, you take those knee sleeves. Like you pull those down for
Yeah,
sure for
I
12
know.
minutes.
I know. You're
Um,
right.
that's so cool though. I love that then you did full power. So
Yeah.
how long did it take? Like obviously now you're like freaking setting records, you're going to the Arnold and competing. So like how long did it kind of take? Did your kind of intentions change from there? Like, oh, I like competing, like now I want to see how good I can get, or what was the path to now setting records like in competition?
Yeah. No, that's a good point that you're making. So I believe what happened is after I found out more about powerlifting, and the different federations, then I started to dabble into, USAPL, WRPF, APF, like And so I think it was more just to try to set records in different federations, but also, for me, it was more if I liked that meet director that I was at, I'm going to compete. I didn't really care sometimes if I didn't like the federation because we know that there's federation drama sometimes, right? So it's like if I like that meet director and that gym and I did good and I like the vibes, I'm probably going to compete, right? So it's like I feel like that's really what drove it. And with the training and just with the passion, it just kind of took off, right? So I think really when it was starting to take off was right around like COVID time. So I feel like, during that time, all of us were, locked up, in our houses. And I had a basement gym at the time, nothing big or nothing special, but in a basement trying to lift at max reps, with not a lot of air, in a basement is kind of hard. I felt like that's where I really like pushed through
Yeah.
adversity pretty well, After that meet, that's when I went to nationals. And then after that, I got my 1,000-pound total the next year when I turned, because right now I'm 43. I'm going to be 44. So I'm masters in like every sport, even if I wanted to compete, within weightlifting one day, I'll be masters also. So, but yeah, I got my 1,000-pound total at 40, and then hoping to break some other records as a masters as well.
That's cool. Will you be doing nationals this year because it's in the Chicago area?
I wish. I have some friends that are doing that one. Yeah. I recently actually got I had quad tendon and meniscus repair in September. Yes, I did. Yep.
Oof.
Yeah.
That is quite the
Yeah.
repair. That's a lot.
And
Holy cow.
I know. And the thing is, it didn't even happen on an actual lift. It probably just happened over time. One day I was just like, I couldn't bend really my leg too far back. And then I didn't really mess around too much. I got my MRI 2 weeks later and, surgery not even long after that. So yeah, from now until then, I'm pretty, far out from the surgery now. So, I'm pretty much cleared to do strength sports, not, max out. So I've been working at like 70-80% right now. But
Yep.
yes, definitely platform will be in the near future. It'll be the comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's so
Mhm.
cool though. I love that. I
Yeah.
also love that there's no second guessing of it, right? You're like, okay, cool, surgery is done, we're good, we're cleared. Like
Mhm.
we'll get back on the platform. It's as simple as that. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's so cool. What so then what was the transition from like, okay, we love strength sports, we love competing, let's open a gym.
Yeah. Right.
Like how did that how
How did that
how were you
happen?
like, you want to know what? Let's start a business.
Yep. Yep. So basically, in a nutshell, there, what happened was, we were at a gym previously about 2.5 years ago, and it was kind of like going down a bit because there was no ownership there, right? So we're like, okay, you know what? I feel like this might be the time. So it was always in the plans, right? We just didn't know how far in the plans. So me and my husband have always like dabbled the idea, but
Yep.
just never like, okay, this can be our retirement, like type of a thing. We're gonna do this, So the opportunity kind of just presented itself. My sister-in-law's in real estate. She found something literally a day after we started looking. We looked at a place that's already kind of like turf, it was a gym, but more for like yoga and like sports training, agility.
Okay.
Um, so it had nice turf and stuff. So really we could walk in and just like transfer the stuff over, So really what happened, we signed right when we saw it. And we're like, okay, let's just do this. Like if we can bring at least maybe like 20, 30 of the people that were at the current gym that we're at, might as well. Let's just do powerlifting, weightlifting, basic strength, and like burn classes. So yeah, and that's really what built out unit, and with the intent of for sure holding meets, having camps. So that was the vision. Obviously at first we had just about 3,400 square feet, and then not even like a year in, we were offered to expand out next door because there was a pizza place there. So we actually took that on, and that's where Method's at. And then the turf where Method's at now, we expanded it out for like open gym area. So we took on 2 more additional units after about that was just about 3 months ago. We finished that construction. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so I think that's really what it was. My husband and I, when we traveled for the powerlifting events, we always knew we wanted to do that. But just like I said, we just did not know how far in the plans it would be. And now, we're USPA certified gym, holding meets, USAW, youth meets right now, and then Strongman Corp events.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm hoping to grow even more within the next couple of years for sure.
How did you and your husband so I did some like FBI searching on you. So like I know you do some stuff with like quality quality
Yes.
control with like but like obviously you've never owned a gym before. How did you like
No.
go through the process of like understanding like what all goes into operating a gym and like creating a great community for all these sports?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely that was a pretty hard learning process, I would say. You know, from zoning and business licensing to just like some of the safety things that you have to have, as well as, all the training and certified coaches that we need, right? So we already knew that we had the, intellect there. We had the coaches,
Mm-hmm.
we had a lot of the equipment already from the other gym. Really, it was just building out the structure, and really making sure like every year, we have all of the different checks, with the safety and like trying to get different repair people in and just really getting that network going, for to run a gym. Getting the CPR AED certified because that's required and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I really think that was it kind of just all fell into place as we knew people that either owned places before. Also, the village was awesome where we're at. So they really helped us get on the ground and get going for like fire codes and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, I really think it's, you just need like a nice setup, like app support for your gyms too to run sustainably. So I think we met with a lot of developers, and now we're actually meeting with our own members to develop like, challenge apps and different apps for like nutrition tracking, stuff like that. So I think it's come a long way, and like we're learning every day still,
Mm-hmm.
with the whole thing. Obviously, insurance, we had to learn all that stuff too. Luckily my dad's was an insurance agent at the time, so he helped us try to get everything covered with
Mm-hmm.
that too. So yeah, a lot of learning stuff though, for sure. A
Yeah, I
lot of
bet.
pieces.
Do
Yeah.
you ever feel like you would ever like go full time with the gym, or do you feel like it's hands off enough where like the balance between you and your husband where it's like
Mhm.
you can have both your full-time job and then also operate the gym?
So that would be the goal, right? But I
Okay.
still think like, I still think that our jobs are pretty unique where, you know, the future will probably be just like consulting basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we could work like, in our little private rooms that are on the side there while we're basically operating,
Yeah.
So I think that would be the goal, but definitely I don't see like retiring in the near future yet, but it's all good. I feel like you got to start your business somewhere and then you got to grow it,
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. You said that you had a lot of equipment from like the prior gym, so you guys ended up
Yeah.
bringing over like members and equipment. Like, did you already own some of that equipment that was in the other gym, or did
So
you like
yeah,
purchase it from that gym?
we purchased it. Yeah. So what happened
Okay.
was the previous owner sold it off to another CrossFit, um, which
Okay.
the CrossFit guy basically like liquidated the place, you know? He
Yeah.
put on a spreadsheet. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this offer. I know you guys are opening, so I'm gonna give you this offer for like this chunk of equipment, you know?" So we're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I think that that's pretty good." I mean, that was enough. To be honest, what we bought from him was enough to probably operate until about like 6 months in, and then we really wanted to get, obviously platforms were made and all that stuff, and you know what I mean? And then combo
Yeah.
racks, of course, then we're like, okay, well, we want to hold a meet, So October, actually, we held the youth Liftapalooza meet in
Hmm.
August, which was crazy because we didn't even move in until July. So, but as you guys know, you're right, for USAW, you need the 12 by 12, right? So
Hmm.
what?
Yeah.
So I think basically that was it, and then we put some nice tarp up or something like for flags and stuff like that. But that was, now that I think back at it, that's pretty insane, to like open
Yeah.
up
No
and then
kidding. So
have a meet
fast.
the
Yeah.
next month. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what happened with that.
That's the nice
But
thing about a weightlifting meet though, is you don't need much. You can just like as
you
long as you
don't.
have the space, you can put a thumbs up for a good lift. You can
This is true.
like it's
Yeah.
low key, which I think is so great. It also makes it I mean, I think for any strength sport to kind of have a lot more local meets and more casual meets, it makes it less intimidating for people too as
Mhm.
they start and get into it and start to compete.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep. So, so yeah, I would say, but a lot of that equipment that we bought, we're still using today. So,
Yeah.
you know, so,
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the timing of that worked out so well for you guys, and that's really awesome. Tell us a
yeah.
little bit more about I know Wanda's been to unit. I have not been to unit yet. I know
Yes.
that Shelby and I have talked about it for sure. I'll be down
Mhm.
soon, I'm sure. But tell us a little bit about like the kind of the goal for the gym and the community that you're building there. Obviously, like you're doing more and more events and you're expanding. But tell us like kind of the vision and tell us about the people there and the coaches there.
For sure. Yeah. And so one thing that's really amazing, especially for the weightlifting side, is that I keep count, I believe before I was on this, I think we have about 6 or 7 USAW level 1 coaches alone, not
Oh
even that
wow.
actively coach, but have the L1.
Yeah.
So it's like that alone is just amazing, right? For growth or any potential there. But so that's really cool for the youth side, because I'm sure Shelby has told you too, like that youth team is just growing like
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, and
It's
then
so
we have
cool.
yeah, and then we have another team, or it's not even a team, but it's actually like the youth portion of the strength side, 6 to 7 p.m. that train, but we're teaching them weightlifting progressions, so I think that really, as much as we want to have, powerlifting and weightlifting to be like the main things, I really
Mhm.
think that youth, because previously at the gym, I believe there was a lot of youth teams that came there. So a lot of previous, parents that had kids that are older now probably went there. So we get
Yeah.
a lot of youth leads. And I hate to like shoo them away to say like, hey, we're capped. But there is a point where we kind of have to be selective now. So I would say definitely our youth teams, just keep them sustained and keep them going, and really try to separate out like maybe some of our elite athletes versus, other kids. We have some kids that never lifted ever, but are in nationals. I'm sure you've heard, right? So it's like, it's just hard to tell how a kid will progress and how much they're gonna take onto the sport. So youth for sure is it's a huge aspect of unit right now. And then next, obviously we have method. Obviously that's, we're trying to grow, method, whether it's in Lindenhurst or the Aurora site. And then regular. adult weightlifting. That's always been something that's, I feel like it's pretty niche. It's like, you either have CrossFit, you have, you know, team weightlifting, but also regular adult lifting. We've had some queries on that. It's not always that, you're not going to get like 100 people that are just going to all of a sudden want to weightlift, right? But that's kind of the flow in, right? So we have the burn classes too, right? So just regular strength training or like burn, so that can be kind of like, I really want to grow that aspect. I feel like right now a lot of people might be intimidated by like the strength sports, so they'll see the powerlifting or the weightlifting aspect and maybe just not think they have a place, right? But they do,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like that aspect, we definitely want to try to grow that. um Powerlifting side and weightlifting, it's either they want to compete or not. And then also like general strength. I think that's a big one too, that I really think now is a big factor, right? People just want to strength train, but they might be intimidated by the barbells or, some of the dumbbell work that people do. So I think really the goals, right, are to have competitions outside of the three main competitions of strongman, weightlifting, powerlifting, just to grow those, separate groups. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really the main focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What does the burn entail? I feel like
Yeah,
burn kind of brings a certain thing to mind, but like, what does the burn class actually entail?
for sure. So we have different aspects. What's cool is that we take on other trainers too that will come on and put in their different vibes to it. So we have a burn that's either like a boot camp focus,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just maybe like 45 minutes worth of, let's say, 8 to 12 different exercises. Maybe they're doing like a 45-second, 20-second split, and they're
Okay.
doing like that station for like 4 to 5 times.
Okay.
So that's primarily the burn. We do have a lot of the newer equipment now, like the ski ergs and stuff like that we could start to introduce high rocks like movements.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's my Saturday class. I teach a burn, but it might be completely different than like a Monday through Friday, because sometimes we'll have barbell snatches in there, or sometimes we'll have deadlifts, or, and then we'll have 45 minutes of work or partner workouts. So it just kind of depends on the coaches at this point that make it a little bit different, for those
Yeah,
classes. Mm-hmm.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys have a pretty robust coaching staff as
Mm-hmm.
well
Mm-hmm.
there. How did you go about building your coaching team? I know that's something that can be difficult for gym owners. I've helped run a good handful of gyms in my life, and I think a lot of people get into wanting to own a gym because they want to coach, or they kind of have this singular thing. Like, you guys are cool because you really wanted like all of the sports, all of the community, which is very
Mm-hmm.
different than a lot of people who open gyms. A lot of people open gyms because they, want to coach, want their own space, don't want a boss, like, type of a thing. So it
Yeah.
sometimes can be tough to build out a coaching staff because you're relinquishing some of that control, obviously. So what did it look like for you to kind of build this ideal coaching staff for all of these different sports as well?
Yep. Yeah, I would say that you're right. That is very difficult, is the coaching. I say probably our constant is the weightlifting side, right? Because method is its own club, right? So with
Mhm.
method, we had some classes where we can have other coaches that are trained in the L1, right? So like I said, we had about 6 coaches that either recently got their L1 or previously, before even joining unit, had it. So that's been pretty cool because, like Coach Amanda, for example, I think you guys met maybe Amanda during some girl events, but yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So she helps out. She's a power lifter. She's going to Ultra Nats actually in May, but she also helps Coach Shelby with youth on Saturdays. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really awesome. And then when some of the college athletes come back that were also on method side, they'll help out coaching anytime they're back for summer or things, and they'll help on the youth side for sure. Whether it's the competitive athletes or just the new kids too, they'll help out with that. And then for our basic strength side, I would say my husband he's just super dedicated. He's there every day. Like I'm a morning person, and my job is both of our jobs are very demanding, but I can't always make it there at night. But he's dedicated every night coaching strength side. Also, he's the main powerlifting coach for unit. So obviously he has to be there, do programming, all of that. So we're trying to train others. So we have Chandler too. That's he's got his own team, and he also trains in different gyms, but he also will take some of the powerlifting side and the strength side and coach. And then we have 2 other new coaches in Bern that we just had join the team. So that's been very helpful, because before that, it was just Nick, myself, and my husband that were doing all of the strength and burn, which can be pretty intense.
That's a lot.
And
It's a lot to take
high
on.
burnout. Yes, exactly.
You were burning.
So, yes.
So much coaching.
So,
yeah.
Right. So then it's like, it definitely helps to have the backups for sure. And now I feel like we might even have, more in the pipeline too, just depending on what we need, so I would say that really has been the way it is. And now we're getting interest from some people that are just open gymmers and that are like, hey, I want to be a ref, I want to do this, I want to help you guys in this. I'm like, awesome, because that will help us in the future, right? So they were just like a spotter and loader, let's say, and now they're gonna ref, they might start coaching, Coach Steve, he's really instrumental too. He helped us with a lot of the meet setups and Strongman. He helps get the Strongman going. So if there's an interest, we might have some Strongman classes as well. So yeah.
I just love that you guys have all 3 sports. Like, to me, that is such a cool and unique thing for a space. I feel like that's less common, right? I've been in a CrossFit gym before that kind of had remnants of each sport, I would say. Like, there was a strongman group that would like meet up there, and like 1 power lifter and 2 weightlifters type of a thing. But to actually have like fully have all 3 sports there is just so cool and so unique.
It's pretty cool. And I mean, what I would say is definitely when it's nicer out, we're going to have more of like the setup of the strongman stuff. Because besides having the strongman meets, it's not like it's a huge space where we can like have like the Conan wheel just chilling, like, I wish like, it would be nice, to have that. Because sometimes you just want to do a finisher over Conan, I mean,
oh my god,
it's like
I don't know if I've ever had that desire, but I can understand it. I don't personally, I have never had that desire.
Mandi, it's funny because when we first got it, because we didn't have the additional space, right? So like it was literally in the middle of the black turf. Wanda, you were at the unit, so that black turf is not that huge of a space, right? The Conan wheel was there with like everything around. So like, yeah, it was hilarious. It was great.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's not strongman equipment is not small. It's not little.
Small.
That's awesome. I think it's so cool that you guys run all those events. How have they been going now that you have, I mean, you've had a couple that you've run now more than once. Like, obviously the kids weightlifting meet, we know the youth weightlifting meet has happened now more than once. How has the growth of the events been?
I would say, cross my fingers, like it's every time it's growing, which is amazing. And I really think the best aspect of it is before we weren't too strategic on putting all these things on the calendar. Because as you know, you need sanctions, you need to get approvals from this person, that person. So it's like now that we are kind of embedded and know those connections a little better with the help of a lot of people, at first, the state chairmans and all that, it's been helping tremendously. So now we have a full slate calendar on, you know, for 2026. There's not been any other year where we've had like a full. I'm like, hey, do you think we could get this on there? You know, but now we really fully have a calendar year of events. So
Yeah.
yeah, and but that helps, right? Because if you have it on the calendar and it's you could register now,
Mm-hmm.
the more likely you're gonna get hopefully a full meet, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell people, here's the schedule for the next year of what we're
Yeah.
doing. Like, and that is so helpful. It is one of my,
Yeah.
Wanda's heard me say this before. It's a pet peeve of mine that people don't plan shit ahead of time. And this is both
Yeah.
like as a coach, as an athlete, somebody trying to figure out, like, even right now, have been kind of trying to figure out, all of my athletes right now are remote because I just moved back to Wisconsin, so I don't have an in-person coaching place. So trying to figure out how I can get my athletes in Indiana and my athletes in Michigan to kind of trying to find like a middle ground where we can all meet together for a meet. And it's so hard because people are like just now starting to figure out if they're going to host meets this summer. And I'm like, y'all,
Mhm.
I need to plan ahead. Like, I
Mhm.
am busy and they're busy. And like,
Yeah.
so even as a coach and an athlete, like, I think it's so helpful to plan ahead. But also for me is like, I do like a lot of media and marketing. Bro, plan ahead. Give me time to just like
Mhm.
build this up and create content for it and create excitement for it. I think it's so helpful. And then you guys
Yes.
have a plan for the year too. Like, more people plan ahead. This is my petition to all business owners and meet
Yeah.
runners and strength sports. Like, let's get ahead of the game here.
And maybe
Okay.
that's
No.
why they're so
Yes.
successful too, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You heard it. You heard it here. Plan ahead. You'll be more successful. No, I
It's
love
true
that. I think
though.
that's really cool. I love events. I think it brings the community together. Have most of your events been like a lot of local people from Illinois, Wisconsin? Have you had people kind of start to travel in for the events? Because now they are growing, right?
Yeah.
And again, people can plan for your guys' events. So
Yeah.
have you started to have people kind of like travel in for them?
Definitely. We've had every meet, there's been travelers from,
That's
I
so
wish I
cool.
could remember, like maybe North Dakota, definitely a farther state. I'll have to check back, but yeah, always there's definitely travelers and not even from, you know, the Midwest corners. It's a little further out too. Because
Yeah.
I think it's also because our federation is slowly growing back. It
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
had it had been going and then now it's back in Illinois. So I think that that's why. It's you're gonna get a lot of more travelers that will come in too. And we're
Yeah.
trying,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? And trying to make it strategic where you do the dates. That I think weightlifting's tricky because there's so many different dates that blend in with like AO and Arnold's that you just don't know where to fit in, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, it's all about the dates.
Yeah.
Somebody's
A
gonna be
lot
like,
of
"Oh," yeah,
qualifiers, like, right, like when your
yes,
qualifying period is for certain things, you can kind of
yep,
strategize, but also that's when other people are trying to strategize. Yeah. I
mm-hmm,
mean, I'm of the mindset I will always believe more meets is always better, right? Like, more meets,
yeah,
more opportunities for people to compete. We can say whatever we want about there being 5,000 federations for powerlifting, but it also just means more meets and more opportunities for people to try and get into the sport. There's obviously downsides to it. And right now there's the whole thing with the IPF and the different rules and regulations on
mhm,
if you compete with another federation, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff going on. But if we think of, I'm like, without getting into the weeds there, if we think of just like people getting into the sport, all of those federations do give a lot more opportunity for people to compete. Whereas, with weightlifting, if we think of weightlifting, there's one main federation, right? Like,
mhm,
technically, there are other weightlifting competitions, but there's one kind of only main federation. So it's like you have to kind of wait for only that federation and people within that federation to host meets. And I feel like depending on the area, there's less and less meets being hosted, not more meets being hosted in weightlifting. And so
yeah,
I
I
think
would
more
agree.
and more events is what we need,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or even like fun ones, right?
Yeah.
Like I know there's a couple gyms now. I think STS did something, but like more
Yeah.
like fun, right? Like fun
Yeah.
Fridays. I mean, well, we have fun at Fridays at the unit, so
Yeah. More
weightlifting
like low
Fridays, yeah,
key, like throw down with your friends types of fun meets.
Yeah.
I used to run like kind of round robin type of meets for weightlifting. It's like just like more low key stuff. It doesn't always have to be this giant production, but like, yeah, I saw that SDS just did kind of like a fun like in-house or anybody
yeah.
could come, but like this fun like kind of competition thing. But like, yeah, more
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Why not? Come up with a bring back the clean and press. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Like we could do something like I think it'd be so fun to do something crazy or even to have like I mean for you guys you have all these different sports like a fun kind of like crossover event. Like what are the like
Yeah.
one movement like do like a power clean, a
Mm-hmm.
deadlift and a so I don't know
Yeah.
like it just
Didn't we
I think
talk
there's
about
so many
this?
fun options.
Mhm.
Have we talked about this before? Just like something super
Probably because
random.
I think it would be so fun. And I feel like I have very often said we should bring back random competition lists.
Yeah, it
just
was
like for
like-
I like
fun.
that. I like
Yeah,
that
it was
idea.
like max muscle press or muscle snatch and like power clean, squat jerk or something.
Yeah.
Something
Mhm.
super
You
random.
could just do something like fun and random. And like also I think if you start doing like weird stuff, like for fun, one, it's fun. It's kind of crazy. It's obviously different. For some people, if you do some random stuff, it's also not really gonna mess with their training because like maxing a
No.
muscle snatch is not gonna wreck your training.
Mhm.
But I also think like, I don't know, I just think we need to have a little more we get a little uptight us strength sports people, you know what I mean? Like there's a little
Yeah.
uptightness
Not a
and
rule.
tradition and like we just need to party a little, I think.
Agree.
Do I just need to
Agree.
take initiative at Bruce City and be like, yo, this is what I want to do?
You should do at Brew City, so this year at Brew City in between we should have like just like one less person per session and in between do like a face off of like a
you're
muscle
talking
snatch.
about like in competition?
Do it in between the sessions
Yeah,
while they're getting
okay.
ready for the
Yeah.
next session. In the 10-minute intermission, you have a face off of
Yeah,
two
yeah,
people
yeah.
doing a muscle snatch.
Actually,
I-
no, we could
I
totally do
mean-
it, but we've definitely talked about doing like a hot dog eating contest.
Oh my god, Brew
in
City is such
between.
the spot for that type of stuff. I
Yes.
like
like
we're talking entertainment value at this point.
yeah,
You know?
because like if they can do it during like timeout at a basketball game, we could for sure do something like a
true.
juggling act.
This is
in between clean and
great.
jerk and
So
snatch.
this is we want in-game entertainment is what we're looking for. So like basketball games, you've got mascots, cheerleaders, dance teams, a dunk contest. Like bring that to strength sports. So we want
we already
after
have-
announcements, 10-minute announcements. We're waiting for the first lift. Like dog eating contest done. In between snatch and clean and jerk. Powerlifting's a little stranger because you kind of like flow right through.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of transition, right? When you go from squat to bench, they have to kind of change the rack around. So like you could do a quick handstand contest. I don't know. Like bring in entertainment. I love this idea. We're
So you guys
geniuses.
know for July, I mean, yeah, we're at our powerlifting meet, we're having a medal band between probably between bench and deadlifts.
What's the
Yeah.
date of the July meet? Hold this.
Let's see. July meet. I gotta look at my calendar. July 20. Let's see.
I'm very open in
What?
July, so this is great.
When is it? What's the date? 25th. Sorry. July 25th. Mad Max. Yes. I got it. July 25th. And it's Mad Max. USPA
Okay.
powerlifting. Yep.
When's nationals for USAPL is June.
June.
July
Yes.
25th. Oh my gosh. I'm
Yes.
so excited for this. That's
Yes,
awesome.
it will be really, really loud band, but that's okay. We're gonna open the door, so hopefully it won't be that loud, but yeah,
Oh my
it'll
gosh.
be
We need the
Hell
energy.
yeah.
exactly.
Listen, I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I always say
Mhm.
weightlifting needs to take lessons from like powerlifting. Like I get tradition, but also like let's party. Crank
Mhm.
that
I
music
love
up.
that
Let's lift
idea.
some heavy ass shit. I love it.
I like
Yeah.
that. I mean, you guys at Bruce City, I feel like the vibe was cool. The music was,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like usually it's silent, right? So it's like that was, yeah, I
No.
love the music. Yeah, for sure.
I am in charge of the music every single year,
Okay.
and it's because so right before we started this call, you were talking about like I don't understand how you're able to compete and also like judge, but it's like I have to turn on the
Yeah.
music so I can party my way through the entire day. Because
Okay.
by the
I
time I
like
get
that.
to like my last session, I'm just like I
Oh, yeah.
need good music to like hype me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have
Nice.
multiple videos of us like dancing from the last
Yeah.
Bruce City
Yeah.
Open. We have lots of videos. Like it just makes it more fun, you know?
Mhm.
Like it's like an all-day party, weightlifting party with your friends. Like that's what I
That's how
want.
it felt. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so fun.
Okay, so to transition, now that we're wrapping up Women's History Month, I would love to kind of dive into, so I know Shelby and you mentioned Amanda coaches, the method section. Do you have other like women coaches? And then what's like your general like patronage, like the split between men and women? And like, how have you seen, I mean, at least over the couple of years that you guys been open, like the amount of women that come through your doors that want to participate in these sports?
Yeah, I would say we definitely do have a lot more women
Yeah.
for sure. And I love that. I mean, and that's amazing to me, right? So it's and coaching wise, yeah, we have Coach Shelby, myself, Coach Amanda, and now Amna is on there too, and we're introducing cardio kickboxing in there too, and she does
Okay.
boot camps. Yep. So now we have a lot more women in the coaching scene, more women coaches than men now.
Awesome.
And yes,
We
and
love
so
this.
yes, exactly. And for the sports as well. I'm trying to think of the split for weightlifting side, but definitely more women are there and powerlifting as well. So um some of the hit classes in Burn, yeah, it's always a lot more women too. I
Yeah.
just think it's all together. It's just the focus. I feel like, of course, men are in the strength sports and they're going to be competing, and we have some athletes too that might do some remote coaching, so it might not seem as prevalent as the females that are in there, but definitely, I just love how it's growing. It's almost like I can't even tell you because there's that many women that are at the gym,
Mhm.
So, for the numbers,
Yeah. What do you
yeah.
feel like is driving that? Like, I guess I mean, you could say overall, but like even with unit, like we've obviously seen overall this growth of women entering strength sports. We obviously like that's our whole purpose of being, you know what I mean? But what do you
Yeah.
think is kind of driving that at unit or kind of in your area, I guess?
Yeah. I would say definitely what it is I think it's confidence and just overall, courage, right? So I feel
Mhm.
like definitely we make it apparent that there's a lot of women that are in this sport. And I think when you think of powerlifting or weightlifting, just off the bat, for nobody that has the experience, right, they're going to think, oh, there's a bunch of guys that are going to be there. I don't know. That's just my thinking that people are going to think that, right? But I feel like the way we've set up pages and things like this, that we focus really on the fact that there's a lot more women, women refs, women coaches, and we put that front and center in there. But yeah, I really think it probably has to do with also the way we do assessments or reach out to people, even though we still have, different help with like marketing and some of our apps, I try my best to reach out to almost every lead as possible, like very personally, whether I call them or just like email, so they know like, hey, you're talking to this person and can I meet that person? Will they be there?
Mhm.
So I don't know, maybe that tries to take the edge off of being nervous to come in. Cause I know my
Yeah.
first time going to a gym, I was super scared, like a
Yeah.
boutique type of a gym,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I was just gonna ask how you mostly get your clientele because
Mhm.
typically there's like Crunch or Lifetime Fitness or like
Mhm.
Vasa's now in the area where it's like, okay, cookie cutter
Yeah.
Yeah.
commercial gym, they know what to
Yeah.
expect, but Unit because it's more of like a private gym. It's dark, like black turf, black walls. It's like kind of like
Yes.
intimidating, and it's like, oh, these
I
are where
know.
like the men go lift, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
so it's like I
Yep.
was just curious, yeah, what you're like and you said you mentioned like you call individually, or like
Yes.
is it like a lot of word of mouth too?
A lot of word of mouth, Wanda, for
Yeah.
sure. Like, I mean, we've grown organically, and I feel like if we did any more into like putting money into marketing, we'd probably, you know, definitely blow up even more. But it's like, how much can you handle with, the full
Mhm.
time job? It's like, do we want to go that route yet? But
Mhm.
definitely, it's been organic. And another thing is, I'm involved in some women's groups now too with the chamber. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's been huge as well. Just like getting together with women like us right now. We're
Yeah.
chatting. I mean, we're talking about our passions and what we love. And I just think that that just speaks volumes when you could just get in a room with a bunch of women, just talk about your passions and what you're going to do. And
Mhm.
cross collabo is key. Is so key. I already met like another, a food truck person that could be at events, or, another person, another photographer, something like that, that you could link up with,
Yeah.
and I think just that right there speaks volumes in trying to grow too. So
Yeah. And I think that comes like so helpful when you guys like host events too, like having this metal band, or yeah, like having the food truck, like, and
yeah,
just supporting local,
yes,
and like just within your community is just like it's beneficial for everyone involved.
yes, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel like? I know you mentioned with, women, confidence is such a huge thing with women in strength sports. What do you feel like you've learned or what you've gotten from, kind of like getting so immersed into strength sports, first as a competitor and then coaching and now owning a gym? What do you feel like you've kind of learned or gotten from strength sports?
Yeah, so I would have to say I would say leadership is a huge part of it, right? So I would say
Mhm.
that definitely from strength sports, confidence is key. Like I feel like ever since I've been competing or just being within a strength sport, just confidence and overall mental health, everything just is excelled, and I feel like I could relate to so many different things with just career and business and just, you know, anything that I really set my mind to. It's changed tremendously everything, So
Mhm.
I would have to say that that's number one for sure. Um And for some reason, even in my basic day-to-day career, I always relate. Everyone knows that I lived and I do all these different things, and that's just a part. It's a part of who I am, So I would say that that's number one key thing. If anybody's ever trying to get into the strength sports, I mean, I would never turn back.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
agree.
I know. Right?
Obviously.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
It's so cool. It's just like, and it's so cool to see like, again, like another female business owner in strength sports too. Like I think that's such a huge thing. I mean, it was Women's History Month. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk, which this will come out after Women's History Month, but there's been a lot of talk about like, when people started coaching, like sometimes it's like you're the only female in the back room coaching.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then now like you can be in an A session, it's all females coaching, or like in a flight and it's all females in the back. Like it's definitely been a huge transition. I think we still have a lot of work to do. I think we're still fighting a lot of cultural expectations and cultural norms when, both that our society holds over us, but also that we've kind of internalized, when it comes to taking on those roles. But man, it is so cool to see and to meet another, like business owner in strength sports who is a woman.
Mhm.
Like that is just so freaking cool to me.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, there's so many, and then with you guys too. I mean, it's amazing the different, people that you've interviewed already in all different strength sports. I think that
Mhm.
that's even before you guys were talking about, after you guys interviewed Shelby, I was like, oh man, that's pretty awesome what they're doing. And I just been seeing all the different athletes you guys are going to, and I think it's just amazing just to hear, each and every one. And I love the way you guys are growing this too. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank
The
you.
foundations, I think that's key right there, is like really how do you give back? I think that's definitely, and in all of the Liftapaloozas, there's always, donations to Safe Place that we'll link up with, that Shelby will organize that too with the Salt Cave. But yeah, definitely it's all about the give back part. So definitely there's a bigger purpose in all this for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
yep.
And there's just so much, there's a bigger purpose, and there's still so much work to do, like
I
there's a
agree.
lot of like
Yeah.
stuff we can get done. And I think it's funny because when maybe we were like right in the beginning, somebody asked me, they're like, well, aren't you gonna like run out of people to talk to really fast doing that? And I was like, no, like we really won't. Like there are so many women that we need to and want to talk to. Like if we had the capacity, we could throw out 3 episodes a week and we would not run out of people to talk to. Like we don't have the capacity to do that. That's not happening. But like we would still not run out of women to interview and to speak to and things to talk about in strength sport. So it's just it's cool. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, before we release you, before we let you go, Wanda has some rapid fire questions for you.
Oh, okay.
What's your oh, sorry, car is going crazy. What's your favorite lift?
Oh, favorite lift deadlift for sure.
Yeah, you pulled over 400, haven't you?
Yeah, yes, yep.
She's a beast.
When's your favorite training time?
I would have to say nowadays it's like 5:15, 6 a.m. I know, crazy.
Good for you.
I know.
Just imagine pulling over 400 at like 6 in the morning.
I know.
And then you go to work and then your coworkers don't know what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
For training. It's like they don't know I pull 400 pounds on the regular. Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, for sure. I believe in aliens.
And then I know that last question. I know that you said you are also very good with string instruments, but do you have any other hidden talents?
Ooh, I like to do some karaoke. I like to sing.
Okay.
What's your go-to song?
Ooh, I would have to say Bulletproof by LaRue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I know what we're doing when we come down to visit. We're going to have to take her to karaoke.
I'm talking about, karaoke on Friday with lifts. I mean, that
Oh
sounds
my
fun, right?
goodness. Listen, talk about some Friday night lights. That'd be so much fun.
Oh my God, I know. There's definitely like I can borrow a karaoke machine from somewhere too.
Oh, nice.
We'll just do it on our own in the street.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We got a PA system too with the TV. I mean, YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love this already. Well, this is awesome. Well, tell people where they can follow you, find you, follow the gym, support the gym, maybe your next like upcoming events. We can link registration and stuff in the show notes as well. But if you want to kind of tell people like what's coming up and where to follow you in the gym.
Sounds good. Yep. So at Unit Strength is our Instagram, and then Unit Strength Training is on Google. And our next event is going to be Strongman, June 6th. We're going to have food trucks. It's going to be vendors. They're sponsored a lot. And that's going to be a fun time. It's going to be outside as well. And then July 25th is the powerlifting meet. So, yep, and then Liftapalooza August. So full pack summer, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we can include all that in the show notes so you guys can follow Jess, follow the gym, and plan your travel for your next meet, independent of what sport that you do, because she's got all of them. So you have no excuse not to come up to Northeastern Illinois and hang out with all of us probably. So Jess, thank you so much for joining us. This was absolutely wonderful, and we will see you guys all next time.